back to the Spoilercast, the podcast where we talk about mostly new movies, and we don't care about spoiling anything in them because it's the Spoilercast. And with me, as always, is my sister and trusty co-host down there this time, Rebecca.
Hey.
Hello.
Hello.
I think your noise gate is acting up again, so maybe talk a little closer to it. No, not the gain, the noise gate. You're clipping a little bit.
You want me to be closer to the mic?
Yeah, a little closer. We fixed your sound, so you can have it closer now.
Hello. How's that?
That's perfection.
Perfection.
What's it? No, Magneto said. That's right. No, the real you. Anyway, let's turn on the music. And in this episode, we are talking about. What was last week? Or last time? Last week was Space Force, right? And because of.
I'm sorry, I just had to react to that because we never have that in the beginning.
Oh right. Oh, Iraq 73. What's up? Well,
Hi.
Hello, welcome Iraq. It's doing pretty well. We're just gonna have a very long and tedious conversation about spoilers, terrible movie. React to Nash Grande. Well, no, not right now. Maybe later. Right now we're gonna talk about, because this is a spoiler cast. He's my cousin. He raps well.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. But we're gonna do that after we have this conversation, this podcast, the spoiler cast. But thank you for hanging out. If you continue hanging out, even though we won't react to your cousin's rap song at the moment. But anyway, what we are going to talk about is the new Netflix movie, which came out like 2 days ago. Yesterday, I don't know when.
Last week.
Or maybe it was last week. Yeah. But I saw that Moist Critical talked about it yesterday. I was like, damn it! We should have done it before him. Anyway, but we decided to watch this because I saw the trailer before it was out, and I thought I thought the premise was interesting, but that the movie in itself looked pretty bad. It looked like this is gonna be cringy. And I showed you the trailer. And I don't know what your opinion was before we saw it.
Before the trailer, before the movie?
No, when you saw the trailer, or did you know about it before I showed it to you?
No.
Oh, okay.
And I don't think I watched the trailer. I think I watched the first 3 minutes of the movie.
Oh, okay. Well,
I don't know.
That could have been very exciting. Okay, but what was your opinion going into this, actually starting the movie and watching it?
I mean, it looked like it could be okay. It looked a bit like it could be very controversial considering the situation in the world, well, especially America.
Yeah, it's bad timing to release a movie
Very
like
bad
this.
timing.
Even though I didn't think it was. I know some reviewers have complained about that it's a wrong time to release a movie with this much police brutality. I'm like, there wasn't that much police brutality. The police wasn't really involved in the movie. But it's still, I mean, it's still about a movie with rioting and protesting and crime being deterred. Yeah. So poor timing. But
yeah, and that's the only thing I had in mind was if this is gonna be more centered on that situation, then it's really gonna be problematic. If it's not, then fuck it.
Yeah.
It's you kind of get that it's not quite click in the movie, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I mean they didn't set out to make a movie about riots and police brutality. That's not what it's about.
No, obviously.
It's not a commentary on anything. It's just supposed to be pure entertainment. At least that's how I see it.
Yes.
It's supposed to be entertainment. But spoilers, Iraq 73, if you're still here, I think you're still here. If you haven't watched the movie, like we said, this is the spoiler cast, so we are going to spoil it now. And my first spoiler is, the movie is fucking terrible.
Yes.
Good. We're in agreement, yes.
Or whatever it's called.
Yeah, you concur, yeah. Because this was... And like I told you I told you when I showed you the trailer, or when I linked you the trailer, that this could either be like an awesome movie, or it could be absolutely terrible, so bad that it's good. But I say it goes beyond that. It was so bad that it was bad.
Yes.
There was
It looks like a cheap, sort of like B-list version of Hollywood movies we've already seen.
yeah.
The only movie that comes to mind is The Purge, but reversed somehow.
Well, yeah, it's a little it's a little similar in premise,
Yeah,
but
and not what's I don't remember the name of the movie, but there's a bunch of them as well. Basic just like heist movies. Like I,
what
I can't think of-
Ocean's 11, 12, 13, Ocean's 8?
not really the Ocean's movie, perhaps, but like
Oh,
the one where Nicolas Cage steals cars. That
oh, like
comes.
Gone in 60 Seconds.
Yeah, like
Well,
that.
that's a
Like,
fun movie
oh,
cuz
yeah, but
things happen in that one.
this feels like a B-list cheap rip-off wannabe sort of thing of those
Okay.
kind of movies.
Yeah. No, you know what the main problem with this movie is, because the premise could be interesting. I guess we should explain the premise. It takes place in 2025 or somewhere around there, because you actually
I
see
did not catch
no,
that.
no, they don't mention that, but in the very last scene of the movie, when you see the girl, I don't remember. Does anyone have a name in this movie? I don't
They
remember any
all
names.
have
Oh
names.
yeah,
Her name
Michael Pitt's character is called Kevin Cash. That's about it.
yeah, and
The
Graham
main guy is Brick, right? Brick.
She's, I think the hell was her name?
Uh, I don't remember.
I love how they have on IMDb the last person on the list before you click full cast is lesbian one.
Lesbian one. All right.
Who was that?
But anyway,
Shelby Dupree. That's her name.
Shelby.
Top 10 people in the movie. What the fuck?
I don't think they mentioned that.
Yes, they do.
They do?
He introduces her at the bar as my fiance, Shelby Dupree.
Oh, okay. Oh, whatever. It's the scene where she spreads the ashes of Brick's brother,
Oh, that's
and you
right.
see on the urn it says
It's
whatever
a
his name was,
beautiful
Brother Brick,
label,
1999 to 2025.
Rory Brick.
Yeah.
2005,
Yeah.
2025.
Yeah. So he was 26. So yeah, it's slightly in the future, and America is crime ridden. I guess they don't really show that, other than because the whole movie takes place the last week before this big event. So I guess rioting is going on. They don't really explain it too well.
It looks like rioting, though. It looks like people are doing petty crime consistently. Just, I mean, in some of it's not petty crime. Like in the first, no, the second scene, I think it is. That girl dancing on top of the car.
Yeah, yeah, but that's what I mean. It's
focused on as if it is a crime. I mean,
no,
she can
but
stop wherever the fuck she wants, can't she?
no, that's actually a crime. It's indecent exposure.
Okay, fine. But it's such a weird one to show.
Yeah, but it's to show that it's anarchy. Crime has taken over. You know, people can do what they want in the streets. They loot, they shoot, they dance on cars naked, half naked.
Weird.
And so the government has started the American Peace Initiative or something, API, where they are going to broadcast a signal that prevents you from committing crime. Which in a way is an interesting concept, but
I cannot understand how that got voted through, with police force being rendered completely useless.
Yeah.
The army would probably be more or less useless, because anyone who steps on American soil would be affected by the signal, right?
Yeah, but they have the things you can get implanted. All police get an implant, so they can break the law. Because what?
What's the point?
Well, they still have the right to kill, which is in and of itself a crime, but they have the right to kill in self-defense or if they have to. So,
But why would they have to if everyone's affected by the signal?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
This movie has plot holes.
Oh, yes. Oh, there's a lot of plot holes. And one they actually kind of address, because my first thought when watching it is, what about all the psychopaths, all the sociopaths that don't know the difference between right and wrong? I mean, that's, if you're psychopathic, you don't even acknowledge. If you're a sociopath, you can acknowledge that this is wrong, this is right, but you choose, you yeah, exactly. A psychopath, like, not just, oh, you're, no, a clinically psychotic person cannot tell the difference between right and wrong. So what's going to stop that person from shooting someone or stealing a car or whatever?
So that's why they need the police.
I guess they don't actually bring that up, except for in the end when Michael Pitt's character divulges that he is not affected by the signal anymore because he was able to like block it out. Like, he doesn't actually explain it, but he's like, it just snapped, and I could block it out.
He doesn't do anything anymore, so he becomes
well, then I guess he's sociopathic if he doesn't feel anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for him, but then I gotta, like, is it that does it block something you know is illegal, or does it block you from doing bad things?
No, they do mention it, that it blocks you from something that you think is bad. Something you've been taught is bad. So everything you've been taught in school that is a bad thing, is illegal, all that stuff, that's gonna be blocked. So it has to be some, like...
But then it's
not logical anymore. It's it's like empath.
Yeah, but
like superhero powers.
But it's so, and I guess we're nitpicking now, but like, what about necessary evils? What if you have to steal because you're starving? You got to shoplift just to eat something. Is it gonna stop you from doing like?
Probably.
You're not. I mean, you are committing a crime. But they also mention that, which they should bring up more, because they don't really show any downsides with this. Like, it's just a good thing, this signal. Other than they mention that if it happens like too many times, or it can only just be if the signal is in your head for too long, because it basically renders you like retarded. They say it turns you into a vegetable.
That's only if you have bad thoughts, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. What if I just, because sometimes you just think weird things like, oh man, I want to kill that guy. Am I gonna like?
If that happens while you are affected by the signal, I guess maybe you're not able to think those thoughts.
No, that
you are pre what's it called, like, already in a bad sort of thing when the signal hits. I don't know.
No, he does actually mention that you can think about doing crime. You can plan a crime all the way up until you're actually going to do it, and that's when you freeze. He does mention that.
You can't execute it, but you can plan it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Sort of. That's why they like in the bank scene, they sort of just freeze up.
Yeah, exactly.
They're already in the act of doing something, but you can see that in their minds they're like, what the fuck is going on? They're aware of what they were doing.
Yeah. But
so it affects their muscles? The part of their brain that controls your limbs?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is this medically possible?
No, I don't think so. And that's the whole thing with that is kind of full of plot holes because they don't really explain it too much. The second problem with the movie is that it's based on a comic book. And comic books, I mean, there's a bunch of movies based on comic books. It's become a huge thing the last 15 years. But there are like when they turn a Marvel comic book into a Marvel movie, like Avengers or whatever, they take the idea of the comic book and make it into a movie. They don't necessarily um, transcribe the style of the comic book. The movies don't look like comic books; they look like Marvel movies. They have their own, basically have their own language now. What this movie does is that it transcribes the style of the comic book. I looked a little bit into the comic book. I didn't read it, but I looked at some of the art style and how it was, how the story was told in the comic book. And it's very edgy. It's very cool. Everything is super cool. Everyone smokes. Everyone wears leather jackets. It's edgy as fuck. And you have like characters have a very distinct look because it is that kind of a comic book. And trying to transcribe that into movie form doesn't work because characters just become caricatures instead. They don't feel like real people because they're not real people. They're from a comic book. So you have characters like Kevin Cash, who is insufferable. I think Michael Pitt does a good job with the acting.
Sure.
But the character, I just couldn't stand him. And the same thing with the like second bad guy, Johnny or whatever he was called, who was like the left-hand goon to Kevin Cash's father, the Dumois leader. He always had like he talked like this all the time, and he was always sweaty. He was always smoking, and it was just so it was all just so larger than life with all the characters, and like to set the mood, instead of actually setting the mood in a scene, they play a pop song or a song. It's like this scene is supposed to be sultry, so we have like some like jazz singer or singer like doing some like sultry song, or in this scene it's supposed to be action, so we have like a rock song. So a lot of musical cues instead of actual emotional cues.
Acting.
What?
Or acting.
Yeah, or acting, yeah. So
I don't know.
Instead of like trying to copy the comic book, they should have just taken the premise of the comic book but made it in their own style. So it wasn't too. It was too stylized. There was too much style over substance, which made it like it was tough to watch at times. It was just so like, calm down, basically. And I think the third big problem with the movie is the runtime, which kind of is part of the being a comic book.
Why?
Well, it's longer because it's based on a comic book, but it's a comic like it's like a one shot. I don't think it's a series, or maybe it's like it's like a limited series.
It's like 4 magazines.
Yeah.
That's what I get up when I Google it. You get like 4 main comic books.
Yeah, exactly.
And they all probably take place throughout this entire story then.
Yeah, so it's not an ongoing thing, so you can't just pick one 30-page issue and make a story out of that. They have to take the entire story, which probably becomes like a couple of 100 pages. And instead of like getting rid of stuff you don't need to, because in books and in comic books you can tell stories in a different way.
Yes.
Like books can be like 2,000 pages long, and you rarely say, "Oh, this book was too long," because it's another way to tell a story. You have more characters. You can spend more time on character development or character origins, because
you have to explain details instead of just showing it in the room. You have to like describe the scene.
Yeah, so it's
more place.
It's different that way, and you can have more characters. And you want to tell a story from different perspectives, but a movie is, which is both a good thing and a bad thing. I think it's mostly a good thing. It's limiting because you gotta kind of keep it to about 2 hours. I know movies are getting longer and longer, but for the most part it works. But I think like 2 hours is a perfect length for a movie, like between 90 and 120 minutes, perfect.
Yeah.
But in order to do that with a comic book or a book, you have to remove some stuff. Usually you can't. Yeah, usually you can do that without ruining the story. And here, there was a lot. Like, honestly, I love Sholto Copley as an actor. He's amazing, I think, when he actually gets to act. But him,
who did he play?
He played the random cop, that we see like 3 or 4 times. Yeah, he's from A-Team and District 9 and Elysium.
Why? That's a huge actor. Why does he have a tiny role in a Netflix production? Is it a Netflix production?
It's a Netflix movie. Yeah, it's produced by Netflix.
He's a South African dude, right?
Yes.
He's awesome. Not in this though.
No.
I mean, he no complaint about his actual acting, but the character is not
pointless.
Yes,
it's pointless.
And it's not something that needs his caliber of acting.
Yeah, and he doesn't get the space to act because he's in like
that
5 scenes.
Is the least dimensional character I've ever seen. I don't know what his purpose is.
Yeah, so in the comic book, I can guess that he was supposed to be the viewpoint of the police in this situation. Like they're gonna be out of a job. Yeah, and he's a good cop. And I thought that he was gonna like in the end realize that this API thing is bad. I'm gonna help the bad guys because to show that the API signal is wrong, and that he was gonna be involved somehow, or maybe they would go more into his background, which we get one newspaper clipping that he was actually a beat cop, a street cop, who accidentally shot someone, which ties into real world events right now. Well, that wasn't accidentally, but I mean, police brutality. In this case, though, it was an accidental, like a misfire, and he killed someone. I don't remember if it was like a kid or something.
It just said like, why did the cop fire or something?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's why he is like sitting in the reception hall of the police headquarters now, and that's why he reacts. I mean, he gets attacked by like tweakers and accidentally once again shoots someone in the head. And of course you're gonna react like strongly to that, but then if we knew that he had already accidentally killed someone, we could like it would have a bigger impact. But now just what is the point of this scene? Because then we
get the news clipping scene way
later. Yeah, and he disappears for like 40 minutes. If not more. Yeah, he's not in the movie. And the only time he comes back, we see him watching someone get the little thing behind the ear so they're not affected by the signal. And we see him as he patrols a little bit. Like a regular beat cop. That's it. Yeah, and in the end, he comes to the API building when Shelby is there, trying to stop the signal from going out, because that's part of their plan. She has seduced the guy who's supposed to hit the button. What?
Why does he go there even?
Because when they scan her as she enters the building, it says that she's wanted, and the guy, Albert, or whatever he's called, who she has seduced, the guy that's supposed to press the button. Chris?
It was Chris.
Oh, whatever. He's not a character in the movie.
No, that's true.
The APB. Yeah, but the APB, the All Points Bulletin, goes out to all the cops, and he sees, I'm on it, and he goes over there.
Oh yeah. That's true.
So he detains her, and the signal goes out. So the whole robbery. Well, we didn't even get to that. The whole point of the movie is that they're gonna plan a huge robbery. They're gonna steal $1 billion, like 30 minutes before the signal goes out, or technically after the signal goes out. It's gonna be the last American crime. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's gonna go to history books and stuff.
Yeah. So while this is going on, he detains her in there, and for some reason, she resists, which I guess she shouldn't be able to, but she does. She manages to resist arrest a little bit. No, the signal is out when that starts happening.
Maybe they're in that bunker room. Maybe you can't feel it.
No, because she does take the piece of glass and is supposed to stab him, and then she can't. She's just standing there, like, ugh. And then.
But maybe you can resist arrest if it. I don't fucking know.
But she's committed a crime. It's a lawful arrest. It's not like an unlawful arrest. He reads her the Miranda rights.
Yeah.
So, but then she like manages to throw him into a glass bookshelf and into a glass table. I guess because I don't know why that scene was there, but then it ends up with him like saying, "Oh, what the fuck is your problem?" and starts strangling her for some reason. Now I can't hear you at all.
I'm not saying anything.
Oh, that's why. You're just mouthing stuff. Like, oh my god, something's broken.
When I only make noises like, yeah, or it doesn't pick that up.
No, that's the noise gate, yeah.
Yeah.
But that scene, then all of a sudden, like, he starts strangling her, like, what the fuck is your problem? Because he was being attacked by her, but still, that was very, very topical, like, with the strangling. Like, you just shouldn't do that. But then, she manages to, like, throw him off, so he rolls onto the floor and gets a piece of glass, like, through his chest and dies.
Yeah.
So the point of his character was...
nada.
Yeah, there wasn't any. It's like, what was the point of that? Wait.
Like you said, in the comic book, it was probably like you had to have the good cop, the guy who... Because you have the bad cops, the one who are using her, the one...
Oh, yeah, there's that part as well.
To,
Kevin Cash.
Yeah. And then you have the good cop. But in this case, we don't know if he's actually a good cop, to be honest, because he accidentally shoots people twice.
Yeah, and he tries to kill our heroine in the end. Yeah, which is weird. So,
what?
Well, yeah, so that character could have been completely cut out.
Yes.
And then we have, the FBI agents who are, like, they act like more like gangsters than FBI agents.
Like the dirty cops in Batman, basically.
Yeah, but it's so weird. I don't know. They have Shelby's little sister, kidnapped, and they want Shelby to sell out or double cross Kevin Cash so that the FBI can arrest him because he's been a thorn in our side for so long. But the way they present him in the movie is that he's a fuck up that doesn't do anything. Yeah.
He hasn't committed a single crime that makes his father proud of him, who is a crime lord.
Yeah, he's the big crime lord in the city.
How is Kevin Cash annoying?
Yeah, they never show him committing any... Yeah, they never show him committing any crime other than, I suppose, he does cocaine and probably doesn't have his guns registered.
Yeah. But
there must have been some big crime that he committed so that the FBI want to get him.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They gotta show... They have to at least tell us what he has done, but they don't.
Like, you can't just go up and say that Kingpin is the bad dude without showing him doing shit.
Exactly. That's what we call show, don't tell. So even just telling us that, oh, Kevin did this wouldn't be enough, but they don't even do that. They don't even tell us. They don't show us, and they don't even tell us. So they just want to get him because he's the bad guy.
Maybe because he's easier to get than his father.
But they never even mention his father. They just want to get him.
True. That's true.
So what's the point?
I have no idea.
You know what the point is? It's so that we're going to be sympathetic to Shelby. Because when she's introduced in the movie, she's the biggest douchebag ever. She's just an edgy asshole. Like everyone else in this movie. The whole scene in the bar when she's being all like, ooh, I'm super sexy and I'm going to lick an ice cube. And then...
So stupid.
Yeah, and then like... Oh, and I just quickly... so don't forget it. Not the ice cube she eats or sucks on and puts back, which is gross. When he is, I don't know you. Ugh, herpes. When the bartender gives him the drink, because that whole bar scene goes on for 25 minutes before she even comes there. The ice cubes in the glasses are plastic. I don't know why I noticed it, but they're floating on on top of the whiskey, not like halfway through, like real ice. They're just like this on the top of the whiskey, on the surface. Why? So they won't melt when they film the scenes? Don't they have more ice cubes to put? Or whatever. It's a little nitpick, but I've never noticed them use fake ice cube.
It's not. Yeah, I've never heard of that. Why would you use fake ice cubes?
I don't know. It was just something I noticed. Maybe they weren't, but they really looked plastic. Anyway, so that's enough of that. Then she goes.
Basically, that entire scene could have been cut out as well, because all you needed was them to be introduced to each other.
Yeah, and him buying the suicide pills, which he does before he has been introduced to the bank robbery plan, but he uses them to finish the plan.
I don't get it. Are they really suicide pills though? Because when he takes them, he lives forever.
Yeah, I know, and
it's like he's invigorated by them.
He mentions that he wants. They're supposed to be strong. I don't know if they're like slow acting. I don't know, but I think he takes them so that he can actually break the law, because he's technically dying, I suppose, and then the signal doesn't affect you or something, because he shoots the FBI guys after taking the pills, and he's able to run across the border to Canada.
Yeah.
They don't explain that. They don't explain it at all. Like,
they don't explain how Shelby can escape the signal as well. Because she walks past officers.
Oh no, that's true. No, they do blow up the server room. That's true.
Yeah, so maybe the signal's out.
Yeah, but he takes the pills before that, and he shoots them before that.
FBI guys before that. Yeah.
I don't know, like when you're dying, you can break the law or something. I don't know.
Maybe
Anyway,
he's technically dead already. I don't know.
Yeah. She goes into the bathroom. He follows her. They have a super awkward sex scene. And then she says, "Oh, I can cross that off my list now." So what's that? Fuck a loser. That was the funniest thing I've ever heard. It was so bad. Fuck a loser. I laughed. That was the only time I had any emotions other than like irritation in this movie. I laughed at that. Not because it was clever, because it was so stupid.
Yeah. And
she's obviously there to make him interested in her so that he will go along with the plan. That's the whole thing. They're using her. They're using her. Yeah, because then when they come out of the bathroom, Kevin Cash is there and like, hey.
But why is he okay with her flirting with him like that? And
well, because he's crazy. He doesn't care. He doesn't care anymore. That's what he says in the end.
Then why is he so? She's my fiance and stuff.
Because he has to act like he cares. You know?
Does he though?
I don't know. I don't know.
No, he doesn't.
Their
love life has nothing to do with the robbery going through. They can like, dude, we're partners and we want some money, but we need your help.
Yeah, them being married has no impact on the movie. So I don't know. And he says wife and fiance. Which is it? Are they married?
Well, she wants to get married, so she's not married yet.
Oh.
That's one of her things on the list.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Anyway, but if she wants him to be interested in her, why call him a loser? I don't know. Maybe he's like a cuckold or something, but it doesn't look like it.
It works, you know. When a cool girl calls you a loser, you're like, oh my god, you're a simp.
I'm so, fuck you then! Go to the next girl instead. Anyway, this is so yeah. We have that super long scene where we're introduced to the characters. We're introduced to them, but we don't get to know the characters. We slowly get to know Kevin during the movie, and we get some awkward flashbacks and terrible voiceover by Shelby, I think.
Shelby, yes.
Yeah. That kind of explains who Brick was, and he's like this big-time bank robber before this, but his brother got caught for something and had to go to jail for 6 months.
They
So
make it seem like it's that robbery.
yeah, but you
kind
don't
of
get
failed,
you don't get
but
6
he's not
months.
there.
Yeah, he's not even there, and you don't get 6 months for a bank robbery. He did something like, I don't know, like stole a car or something. So 6 months
Yeah.
isn't that bad. I mean, it's bad, but it's not that bad. So yeah, and he commits suicide in prison. It turns out he was killed by the guards. Turns out though that he was killed by Kevin, but yeah, that's later. And then there's like an hour and 40 minutes where they show us all the characters very slowly. You have these long scenes where they just talk about nothing really. I mean, they talk about things, but not really. I don't know how an hour and 40 minutes could go by without basically nothing happening.
No, that hour and 40 minutes. That's when they prepare for the crime.
Yeah, but the
They
actual
the things and the weapons and all the stuff they will need.
yeah, but
But
there's
only
so
one
much.
scene of those actually has an impact on the end game.
Yeah,
And that's when they pick up the bombs. But that scene as well could have been handled way better.
could be so much shorter, so much
Could have
shorter.
had so much
Yeah,
less detail.
because they go
not
to
know all that
Kevin.
shit.
Yeah, they go to Kevin Cash's dad because he got a bunch of weapons, so he got the rocket they need.
They're not rockets. They're fucking bombs.
Yeah, but he says rockets. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. They never use the rockets other than to get out of that room. So
That's the sticky bombs that they put on the door.
why-
That's the rockets.
yeah, but why did they call them rockets then?
Because they're stupid.
Anyway, yeah, but that scene, instead of them coming to the house, getting like frisked, like, oh, you can have our guns, going to the office and getting the weapons, it's like
Having this entire fucking family fight.
there's this like family feud. Like, oh, you fucked your stepmother, and like, but I introduced you to her, and the sister comes in and starts screaming, you want to fuck me now? What? And there's this long scene before that when there's a party at the house because all the big time criminals, they don't care. They already have all their money, so they're fine with no more crime. They're just partying it up.
I'm surprised you're not going to be become remorseful and return your money.
Yeah. And then so that goes on for like 10 minutes, and then we actually get to them getting the guns and shooting their way out. And that's like the first action scene in this movie. And that comes about an hour and 20 minutes in. We have a little bit of a shootout and a little bit of a car chase, and then that's over. Before that, it's just people walking around, looking cool, smoking, listening to music, saying cool things.
Planning and plotting.
Yeah, but not really planning and plotting. Because when the heist actually starts, there's 50 minutes left of the movie, 52 minutes left. That's when the night of the signal starts, and they're starting the heist. Their plan is like, it's like there's like 3 steps to it, and it's not clever at all.
Oh,
they didn't
They didn't tell us what they wanted to do either.
No, yeah, we are never
get in, get the money, get out.
Yeah, so we never really know how they're going to do it. But basically, one guy who is also introduced, Ross, but he's just a driver. He's not a important part of the story.
Friend of Bricks, basically.
Yeah, he steals one of the dump trucks that are going to come to the big money factory, as they call it, and because they're gonna, like, for some reason they're gonna burn all the old money.
Well, yeah, because if when money goes out of circulation, which it does eventually when it becomes too worn, you have to burn it, otherwise.
Yeah, but
because they have to lose value.
Yeah, but this is
the economy balance.
Yeah, but this is money. They're gonna burn money that is just like a few weeks old.
Yeah, but aren't they changing the look of it or something?
Yeah, they don't mention that, but I guess they are.
Because the money they steal there are two very distinct different piles of money, as far as I can tell. When they fly everywhere, you have the American green ones.
Yeah, and
then you have shit that looks Canadian.
White almost. Yeah.
They look like Monopoly money.
Yeah,
White and orange. Yeah. So Canadian money, probably.
Yeah.
Which also is weird. Why would they change to?
I don't think it's Canadian money, but I'm guessing it's money before the anti-crime signal and money after, maybe, because they are initiating a buyback plan where you can come in like, oh hi, I stole this money, I give it back to you, and you give me like 10% of it as a buyback.
Differentiate from stolen money.
Yeah.
So that you can't use stolen money in stolen money in shops and shit.
Right, it's so weird. So the plan is to steal.
I don't get why though, because no one can commit more crimes. So
yeah. So what does it matter?
Yeah. Do they want them to turn themselves in?
Because in a buyback situation, you don't arrest anyone. That's the whole thing. They did that in.
You don't go and buy it back, and you try to use it to buy stuff.
Oh, okay, that's true.
Then I guess it's still a crime.
Fair enough.
See, they don't tell us this.
They don't tell us that. They just, it's a buyback situation. Oh, okay. Why?
So we're just making up the rules right now.
Yeah. Because that's how buyback worked. I know in Australia a few years ago, they had a buyback like day where you could literally like come into the police station, leave all your unregistered guns, which is illegal, and
you get money for it.
Yeah, you got some like symbolic sum, but the thing was that they wouldn't arrest you.
Yeah.
I don't know how well that worked because I don't know if they did this, but obviously they wrote down every person that came in there and it's like, oh yeah, that's fine, like good for you for sticking to the law now. And then 10 weeks later, okay, get the motherfucker.
I hope not.
Nah, I don't think they did that. But
never do it again.
Nah, I know. They could. Yeah, they couldn't do that. But anyway, so their plan is to steal one of the dump trucks that are going to carry the money to the burning pit. And use that.
They keep that separate for some reason.
Yeah, and use that to load up the new money on, which they're going to get to by actually giving back $5 million of fake money that they've printed. So Brick goes in with his car into the money factory. I don't know why they do the buyback there. Why they don't have a separate building for that? But anyway, he goes in, leaves the money.
It depends on the sum of money, maybe.
Oh, but still,
you have to announce how much you have as well.
Yeah, and they would have criminals in close proximity to $1 billion. Why even take the risk? But he gets his check for $350,000, which is what you get for $5 million of stolen money. And then instead of driving out of there, he drives into the cargo elevator, which is right there where they're doing the transaction. Because the guy gets the money, he burns one of the counterfeit bills, and you see that it burns differently because of the ink.
They mentioned
they mentioned that earlier, so that's fine. That's stop him! So they start shooting at him, but he drives right into the elevator, and he can
kill all the guards.
Yeah, they kill all the guards because Kevin Cash is hanging on the undercarriage of the car and shoots all the guys.
Makes no sense because that's a muscle car lowrider. How the fuck did he fit?
And they checked with a mirror under before he went in there. How didn't they see him?
Because he was wearing black, so he camouflaged himself.
Yeah, but they had dogs. Dogs can smell you. Anyway, then he just presses the button like, take me to the vault. There's no like key or anything. They just go down there.
No, you just flick the switch.
Yeah. So they get down there, and the API people, the government, they can't stop the elevator because it's a safety thing so that no one can break into the elevators. Oh my god, this is stupid. So they get down there, and technically then there's now you're stuck in there. He basically says
there's a second door, you idiot.
Yeah, you drove into your own jail cell. But they blow the doors off the vault, and there's a second door, but I maybe I just spaced out. Where was that door?
No, maybe that was the vault door. I don't know.
Somehow they get all this money, which is 20 cubic meters, which is pretty big. That's about...
I think we see them moving
It's like 60 cubic feet. That's a lot of money. It's 3 ton of cash.
A bunch of pallets. I think you see them move like 4 or 6 pallets.
Yeah.
Something like that.
And somehow, from the vault, they get those pallets onto the dump truck, which Ross is driving.
Yeah, because Ross drove it in, put it in position, then he takes the automatic pallet mover, I don't know what it's called in English. Pallet dragare.
No.
No, it's actually a truck lift or some sort. Whatever.
Yeah.
He just drives the pallets out, dumps the money in the truck, they get out of there.
Yeah. And then they put all the money into a bigger truck and drive it across the border.
No, that's the bigger truck that they put the money in.
Oh, okay, that's true. Yeah,
they just cover it with a tarp.
Yeah. And then in between that, Kevin reveals that he is not affected by the signal and tries to double cross everyone because, I don't know, because he wants the entire billion for himself instead of splitting it 3 ways.
He wants to make it look like he was the only one who was doing it, and that way it becomes extra historic.
Okay.
He's one dude who could 3 whatever.
Yeah, but he gets shot by the FBI guys, and then Brick somehow manages to shoot them, even though the signal is in full spin then. So he takes the truck, drives out of there. Shelby stumbles out. Oh, I saw something in the corner of my eye. Jesus Christ! I think it was a shadow, but it looked like a cat or something. Jesus. Anyway, and she's all beaten up, and they both sit there and like, oh my God, I love you. Since when do you love him? That's also, they fall in love for some reason.
You know, dude.
Huh?
That entire last bit when he's driving the truck. First of all, he's got 2 shotgun shots to his abdomen.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly where. One in the chest, I think, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
He's driving this big ass truck that you can tell that he's straining at least.
Yeah. And he swallowed 2 suicide pills.
Yes, that are extremely strong apparently. Then you have her walking out of the exploded API building.
Yeah.
With eventually 7 cops telling her to sit your ass down. You're under arrest.
Yeah.
She keeps walking.
All right, and then the truck.
Then the truck rolls up, hits one cop car. It was a big car, but it's a car.
It just comes out of nowhere.
Grabs into those 7 cops and kills them.
I don't know.
Apparently, because she gets into the truck and they stay there for a couple of minutes, just sitting there.
Yeah, like
yeah. No one's shooting at him. No one's coming at him at all. So that truck that hit the car managed to kill 7 cops.
Yes.
In full gear.
Yes, of course.
With helmets and shit.
It's a big truck, Rebecca.
Yeah, but that's not the one that hits them. It's the car.
I'm kidding. I don't know. And then they drive across the border. He dies. She takes a little bit of the money, enough to survive, but then just leaves the rest because she did it for love, I guess.
She can't care anymore.
No, yeah, it's fucking.
And it would look very, very suspicious if she had more, probably.
So
well,
then
she already has.
And
there's money flowing everywhere when they drive off. It's even...
Yeah. Then she meets up with her sister, who she told to go to this address in Canada. They spread Brick's brother's ashes. Rory. And then we get 3 minutes of aerial shots of Canada for some reason before the end credits come.
Rural Canada.
Yeah. Yeah.
For some reason.
And then the movie ends. And it's not the worst movie I've ever seen. I've seen much worse. But it was so boring. And it was so bad. This should have been an hour and 50 minutes. Or hour and 30 maybe. Remove Charlotte.
Is the perfect length of a movie when it comes to action. Because you cannot focus on dumb action for longer than an hour 40.
Yeah, and then the 3 action scenes we got wouldn't have felt too little. They would have been, okay, It wasn't. It was an action thriller, not an action movie. Okay, but here we get 3 action scenes over 2 hours and 29 minutes.
They are so short.
Yeah, and they're not good.
So uneventful.
Yeah,
and they're so bad.
Yeah. So, question?
Because this has bothered me since the first effing scene in this movie.
Okay.
The entire Brick clan.
Yeah, his gang.
Whatever they're called, his gang.
Yeah.
Everyone else except for him feel like they're Irish American.
Yeah.
Names. One person actually speaks with an Irish accent.
It's a Johnny D. I guess the guy who gets shot in the bank is called William or something.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And Rory and Graham.
Yeah.
But the dude playing Graham Brick,
I think
he's from Venezuela.
Venezuela, right? I don't know.
He speaks with an accent from South America. That bothers the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
It's like they're supposed to be Irish American, but he's Spanish.
Yeah.
Well, not Venezuelan, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He has a Spanish.
He's Latin American.
Yeah. And his speech. No.
Yeah, I don't know. And there was like almost every like actor who was in the movie for more than one scene, except for Michael Pitt, who plays Kevin Cash, have are not of American descent. Now, I don't know, but they all have American names, so I'm guessing in the comic book they were American. But so I'm wondering if they just cast smaller actors so they could cut down on cost instead of having big stars, or if it's a conscious choice to show, especially since this is the future, that America has become more and more of a melting pot. Yeah, diverse. I don't know, but I gotta say that it did annoy me, and I don't know if this is racially insensitive, but it did annoy me that almost everyone had an accent, and they spoke bad. I don't want to say bad English, but you know what I mean. Especially I think his name was Johnny, that weirdo goon who kidnaps Shelby towards the end of the movie. I couldn't stand how he talked. It was so annoying. And the same thing. That's just the thing. I'm not particularly fond of Edgar Ramirez. I think the guy's name plays Brick. Yeah. I think he's kind of a bland actor. So having him as your cool action hero didn't work at all.
No.
So it wasn't so much his accent, but it just...
No, the only thing that bothered me, I have no problem with people being diverse.
Oh, no, me neither.
More power to you. Shelby, fine, I don't care where she comes from, I don't care what accent she has, because she does not belong to a specific family.
No.
But the Bricks are supposed to be family by blood. They should be similar somehow at least. No, Rory's fucking ginger.
Yeah. And
then you have Graham, who's Latin American.
Yeah. Well, it's the future, so maybe, But
what, is he adopted?
Then I would have rather seen, because I know that there's it's a French director, Olivier Megaton. His last name is Megaton. That's awesome. He's a terrible director, though. He made Taken 3, which is one of the worst movies ever made.
No. Yeah.
He made some other movie. I don't remember. But he doesn't have a good track record. I think he made the second as well. Let's see. Olivier
he did
Megaton.
Transporter 3, Taken 2 as well.
Oh, God. Oh, Colombiana. Oh, I hate Colombiana. Transporter 3 is okay, but...
Bunch of French stuff, obviously.
Yeah.
Short and a few TV series.
Not
a lot of long, full-length movies, to be honest. He got Transporter 3 was his first full-length movie, it looks like. No, Exit, but I don't know what that is.
I don't know what Exit is.
Then he did Colombiana, Taken 2, Taken 3, and then this one.
Yeah.
So 5 movies.
Yeah. I would have rather seen this because other than the title, this doesn't feel like it needs to take place in America. And you obviously have a bunch of non-American actors, or at least whatever. Yeah. This could have taken place in France. France is a melting pot as well.
actually would have made more sense with the Venezuelan accent then.
Yeah, exactly. And I know there were some. I'm pretty sure some of the actors were French.
There's a dude called Lonnie French, but I don't know if he's French.
I don't know. No, but his name is Aurette. His last name, or Auré. So probably, but his name is Brandon. I don't know if that is. Anyway, this would have, I would have preferred this taking place in another country, and not have all the bad accents. Instead, have them talk like their native language instead.
Yeah.
Or maybe,
or at least, bad English.
Yeah.
Like European English.
Yeah, that, I don't know. It would have made more sense, especially since there's nothing in this that had to be in America. I don't know.
Nope.
Maybe that's just they
wanted it to take place in like New York.
Yeah.
Not even in New York. I'm sorry, because they're a bridge away from Canada. How the fuck is that New York?
Yeah, it's not New York. They don't actually.
It looks like New York.
They don't say which city it is, but there are like hints, or at least like real world what's it called? Sightseeing spots. You can see actual like landmarks, right? Thank you. That are real. That they didn't mask them, and it takes place in Chicago, which I guess makes sense. I don't know American geography that well, but I guess that makes sense.
It's closer.
At least. Oh yeah, it's definitely closer than New York, but
yeah, that's all I can tell you. You're looking it up?
Yeah, I'm just gonna look map of the United States of America. It's supposed to be like up by Washington. It looks like when they show it in the Why can't you zoom in? There we go.
Google Maps it.
Oh wait, there's Chicago. No. That's right. Yeah, it's right on the border or by the water.
Is there a bridge from Chicago to Canada?
There is not a bridge there because that's gonna be a long bridge. Because Chicago,
you can see it's a long.
Chicago is right in like a divot. Like it's like here's America. Right there is Chicago. All of this is water. Lake Superior goes up to Canada, but on either side of here is the rest of America. So instead of driving,
took one of those pieces, put it in there.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Let me just pull it up real quick so people can see it. Let's see. I'll do this.
Even it would have made even more. I can't speak anymore.
It would
have made even would have made more sense if it was taking place in Canada, America. Anything but America. Why America? Because America's the only place that have this much crime, has this much. I don't fucking know. It feels like it's a peak towards. Peak? Is that how you say it in English? No, it's not. I can't see shit. You know that, right? I am. Oh. Unless it's way off in timing. Oh, there it is. I'm sorry. There it is. I'm checking the Yeah. Yeah. So basically, could have taken place in Michigan, it would have made more sense. But it looks like it's just one long bridge in the movie. Maybe, yeah, whatever. Probably Michigan. That would have made more sense. I mean, it could actually be in New York and go up to Canada, but it's not, right?
So there we go. So, I
I have nothing good to say about this movie. Not even like the plot doesn't even seem interesting, to be honest.
No. I like heist movies. I would have loved if they spent like an hour of the movie, I wouldn't even have to care that much about the characters. That's the thing with a heist movie. If the heist is intricate and interesting enough, you don't have to have a lot of characters because it's a heist movie.
Just look at the Ocean's movies.
Yeah,
you don't have too much background about the characters.
No, they're interesting because they're quirky and funny. Yeah. But other than that, it's all about setting up the heist. Everything they do in the movie.
And the only character development you get is they're part of the planning.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, this is your strong point. That's why you get to do it. Okay,
but that's not actually what it's about.
He's the actor. Yeah.
Yeah, and the same thing.
It's about the heist.
Yeah, and the same thing with Ocean's 8. It was the same thing. It was all about. Yeah, I haven't seen 12 and 13, so I don't know. I've only seen 11 and 8.
Excuse me.
Anyway. So yeah, it's all about the planning and all the characters having a part of the plan. They have a reason to be there. But here it's just them doing nothing for almost 2 hours.
Only 2 people actually do anything for the planning of the heist. You have Shelby being the tech.
Yeah, she does some tech stuff.
Fixing the fake money.
Yeah.
And then you have Graham Brick.
Yeah, who recruits the driver.
And recruits the driver, yeah.
That's about it. And he couldn't drive by himself? I guess he couldn't.
Technically, Kevin gets the weapon, but...
yeah.
Does he really, though? Because, Brick's there as well, so...
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and Brick already knew where he could get the rockets from. He says either it's the army or it's the Dumois family. And he already had a connection to the Dumois family since they hate him. So it would have been more fun, like, I'm here to, like, make truce, make peace. But then he fucks them over and takes the weapons instead. Something like that. But no, there's this weird family drama. I don't know. So the plotting of the heist is interesting. The characters are annoying or boring. The actual heist is not very well planned. And we don't know what the plan is. So we're not engaged in that.
It's not very exciting when it's executed either.
Exactly. And what little action we get in the movie is very bland. It's boring. It's not interesting at all. The only
you have 2 very unnecessary sex scenes. Just have to point that out. They bothered me. They were so unnecessary. I mean, I get the point of putting in some sort of romance in it because you gotta have some romance.
But it's supposed so they can have feelings for each other, but. They don't have any feelings for each other. They just have sex twice. They have zero chemistry. Shallow.
Yeah, it's just sex. Those 2. The love doesn't come until he's dead, basically.
Yeah, that's the first thing. That's the first time they profess some sort of love. I guess he saves her from that crazy Johnny guy when he kidnaps her and tries to rape her.
Could have
But that scene was unnecessary.
She could have gotten out of all of that by herself.
Yeah, she could have done it by herself.
Cash was because the FBI guys wanted him for her sister. That whole plot point could have just been removed.
Yeah.
You didn't need that for anything. Could have been very simple. If you want to have the sister because she needs a reason to get out of the country, sure. Keep the sister. Just tell them okay. So
she's in Canada.
To Canada, or she was adopted and sent to Canada.
Yeah, because that's an early plot point that people are trying to get out of the country before this signal goes out. But it's really hard to cross the border because any little black dot in your record and you're fucked. You're not getting out of the country.
Yeah.
And you have to have the proper papers and all that. So you could just be that, my sister managed to get over the border because, she's clean. She's not a criminal.
She's 14 years old. Huh?
Yeah, and that also. Yeah, she's 14 years old. Now she needs my help to survive in Canada. I need to get there, but I'm a criminal, so I can't, That would have been enough. But instead they have these sadistic, weirdo FBI agents. It's so much unnecessary stuff. Yeah, so... Nothing was good in the movie. Even the music, what little actual music there was in the movie, not just songs, was boring. It was repetitive.
Barely picked it up.
Yeah, I noticed in one scene when it was music, it was supposed to build tension. It was in the beginning of the heist, like dun 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 dun. But that little dun 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 just went on and on. It was just the same. It wasn't building. It was just the same. So it became boring. So even the music was boring.
I think the only thing I actually not like, but the only thing about this movie that seemed okay is the first scene.
And it was too long. Like every other scene in the movie, too long.
I get that was like an okay scene to have. Like, okay, you establish him as being this badass dude who can like take care of himself, and he's like, oh, I'll do tough shit like burn your ass. That was an okay scene.
But he isn't really that badass in the rest of the movie. He's just boring.
Because he looks badass in this scene, considering what you see that he's done.
Yeah.
Because, he's like blown a hole in the wall. He's like
killed a bunch of dudes.
Killed a bunch of other dudes. But then the rest of the movie is just so fucking plain.
He's like, yeah.
Oh, I'm this tough. He sounds and he talks like he's a tough dude, but he does nothing.
Yeah, he tries to have this smoky, badass voice. But the thing is that Edgar Ramirez's real voice is very soft. He sounds very nice. So yeah, he's tried to use that voice before in movies, and it just doesn't work. I think he is miscast, and at least the things I've seen him in, he is severely miscast. I don't know. So yeah, this was a movie with 0 redeeming features.
Thank fuck it didn't get to movie theaters, because I don't think it's ever gonna be like it was a Netflix movie, right? We said that.
Yes, it's produced by Netflix.
Yeah, so it's not gonna get in theaters. You won't have to see it. Please don't.
Yeah.
Like, I have nothing. I cannot recommend this at all.
No, yeah.
No one. It's too long and too boring. Honestly, I did not even I didn't sit and actually watch it the entire time.
No.
I had to get on at the same time.
I had it on in the background while working. I watched the last 15 minutes on my lunch break. That was the only time I actually was like focused.
Yeah, I think the last 40 minutes was when I turned off the game, so I could watch it. So I was like, okay, I'm not focusing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it has a 16% on Metascore on Metacritic, so 16 out of 100. I read somewhere that it has like a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, but I don't like Rotten Tomatoes. But still, 16 out of 100 on Metacritic is
like
not good.
The user reviews are like 1 to 3 stars tops.
Yeah.
Oh wait, there's a 4-star.
Ooh.
Everything's like no interest. It was boring.
Yeah.
Do yourself a favor and watch something else. So bad could have been good. Decent story could have been done right. No, not really. You couldn't really save this one. Far too long for far too little. Yeah, yeah. That's it. It's far too long for far too little.
Yeah. So like I'm in my other podcast, the Adam Sandler podcast, we recently watched some of the worst Adam Sandler movies of all time. That's My Boy and Grown Ups 2. And this is not as bad as That's My Boy. I mean, I'll see if I link that up here. You can watch that podcast episode where that movie is despicable. It's not even like a joke. It's disgusting.
Isn't like a Netflix production?
No, that was before the Netflix movies, just before the Netflix movies. But so this movie isn't disgusting. It doesn't like offend me, but this is just bad. So it's not that bad. But in terms of like giving it any sort of points, like on a 1 to 10 scale or 1 to 100 or whatever, no, because it has 0 redeeming features.
Yeah,
it's a 0 out of 100.
Yeah,
there's nothing here like, well, at least you can enjoy that. No, there's nothing. Nothing.
Like, not even the camera work or the set.
No, it's all bland.
That bothered me. Another thing that bothered me with the bathroom scene in the bar. I think the wall moved.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of walls moving in this movie. Yeah, the bathroom wall moves. There is one scene where someone is getting beat up. I think. Gets thrown against the wall. That wall moves. There's a bunch of walls moving in this movie.
To fix. You can put a maybe cut out, but that is not expensive.
No,
you can fix proper props, without it having to cost too much.
Yeah, and this is a multi-million-dollar production.
How big was the?
I don't know what.
Budget?
I don't know exactly what the budget was. I don't know if it says. Netflix is very
pro and shit.
Yeah, yeah, but Netflix is very hush hush about how much money they spend on stuff. But you know, it was at least like $40 million for a movie like this.
Yes,
They could have spent
a lot of set piece. They have had a lot of different scenes. It took place in a lot of different places. Yeah. Of course,
they could have spent a little more on just propping up the walls so they don't shake.
Dude,
yeah.
The background worker dudes just against the wall, they wouldn't have moved.
Yeah, anything.
For just standing there anyway. Not even like the camera work. I cannot say that the camera work was great.
The camera work was workmanlike. It showed what you had to see. Everything was in focus. But that's not a plus. That's just what you expect. But the entire movie was brown. Everything was brown.
Yeah, there's no color in it.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, that's maybe because of the comic book.
Yeah, but
because the only color you kind of see it's sort of trying to mimic Sin City in that way. The only color you sort of see is red. That's the only color
but it doesn't stick out like it does in Sin City.
No,
Sin City is
that
monochromatic,
clear.
And then you have specific things. This is just everything is brown, and then
and then you have red.
Jackets are red. All right.
And the pills were red.
Oh yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. They've stolen so many things from so many good movies and plots, and tried to do like a mix of it, and like everything together is gonna be awesome. And no, dude, it's too much, too little, too scattered. It sucks.
Yeah, they didn't do anything with it. It was a huge dud.
Yeah.
So
don't watch it.
Don't watch it. Yeah. I mean, if you're watching this, maybe you watched it before.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
So sorry, but this was worse than The Boy 2. The Boy 2 was at least so like what that you could enjoy it like that.
We had ideas how to save that, like getting not inspired, but like you can see what they were trying to do, sort of.
Yeah. Well, you could save this. You could definitely save this.
It takes too much.
It's just a heist movie. Just remove an hour. Remove like the love plot. Remove Charlotte Copley. Remove the FBI guys. Focus on actually planning the heist in the movie, and then you have an okay heist movie.
Yeah, and 3 out of 5. Europe, not America.
Yeah, set it in France. Set it in Italy. Somewhere. I don't know. But I said we got this. The biggest dud of the year. This is the worst movie I've seen all year. And I haven't seen that many movies because, things. But I've seen a couple of stinkers. Brahms The Boy 2 was one of them. But this was definitely worse. So, yeah. That's it. Thank you for watching. Yeah. I don't know if Iraq 73 was here all the time. But thank you for hanging out in the beginning. Oh, no, you were watching the stream. So that was probably you I was seeing all the time.
I think so. He just wanted to shout out his cousin Nash Grande, whoever that is.
Well, we're gonna check out. I don't know. Next episode, we're gonna start off with listening to Nash Grande. Just saying. But if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see us probably every Thursday live on Twitch. There's links, of course. But if you're watching it on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more stuff like this.
And like it.
Like it, of course. And we'll see you hopefully next week, because I had an idea for you. There's a new Netflix show out called Curon, which I think looks interesting. So we're gonna check out.
So maybe we'll check out the first season.
Yeah, we'll at least check out a couple of episodes and talk about them. So let's we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.